We're going north and we're going west. We're going into the mountains. We're going to a small town of 500,000 people, unless you count the surrounding area, and then it's closer to 1 million. We're going to Zhang Ye. Street food. 7+ hours on the high-speed train. My family and I have some friends who live in Zhangye, but we've just never made the time to go visit them. That changes today. When school was out for the summer, we said, you know what? It's time to get out into the countryside. I thought it was gonna be like straight up desert out the window because we're heading into the northwest China. But actually, when I looked out the window, it was like the hills were alive. You know what I'm saying? Young Julie Andrews out there twirling, just lush, green, mountainous landscape. Who knew? And then there was mists on the mountain just after the rain. I'm already in on Zhang Ye, and I'm not even there yet, okay? Zhang Ye has been rising in the ranks of like tourist-friendly areas, and so it's been getting more and more developed. But it still has like a small town vibe. Zhang Ye was a stop along the Silk Road, and straight up Marco Polo, the actual Marco Polo, actually lived there for a couple years in Zhang Ye. There's a statue of him just in the streets. There's also a university in town, which is where my friends work. But this is how you know you're in Zhangye, because that's yak butter. What? So we were knocking out the tourist things, right? Checking boxes. First up, the Painted Mountains. We made a plan to get out there and then see them at sunset, sun going down over the Painted Mountains. It was about to be dope. Unfortunately, they stopped selling tickets at 7 p.m. and we arrived about 7:20. And we lost touch with the other car that was carrying the other half of our group, so we could not get in to the Painted Mountains. So what we did is, we went to a spot, there was like a fence, and we went as close up to the Painted Mountains as we could get without paying to get in. If I go up over the fence, it'll look like we're actually there. And then we took a lot of pictures of the same peak from different angles in order to fool people into thinking we had visited the Painted Mountains. In fact, we only visited the border of the Painted Mountains, and we saw beyond the fence. These colors come out way more after it rains. It rained this yesterday or this morning, and so the colors of the mountains are a lot prettier. It was like the promised land was just over there, but you know, we weren't getting in. We were relegated to the wilderness for all of our misdeeds and poor planning. Not the best start to our trip, but not to worry. We had another box to check, the Wetlands Park. It was a hot morning, and we got a little sun, but there was a legit breeze, and look at this blue sky. So clear, so much green. We heard about this museum in the Wetlands Park that's pretty great. People said, hey, as far as museums and wetlands parks go, this is pretty bomb. So we're like, all right. And we were out there, we're getting hot, but we were like, okay, there's gonna be AC in this museum. Let's just press forward. Let's get to the museum, back corner of the park. We're all sweaty. We get there. It's closed. No reason. It just says, hey, by the way, this day, the day you happen to be here, closed. Big red sign. Look at my kids are just like looking in the window. Hey, I guess it does look cool. Again, we're trapped on the outside. What sort of theme is happening in our lives? What is going on in Zhang Ye? That's 2 strikes, Zhang Ye. Should we count them as strikes? Actually don't know. The Wetlands Park was still pretty cool, and it was free. Also, we got the free version of the Painted Mountains. Maybe we're winning Zhang Ye. I don't know. But the third spot is the big one, okay? It's the Zhang Ye Grand Canyon, Dashagu. That was the next day. We started with a traditional local breakfast. Xiafan. This is a bowl of noodle soup. It's not unlike Lanzhou beef noodles in terms of the broth. But in this one, instead of long noodles, you get xiafan, which are these little tiny noodle cubes. You guys remember that Campbell's soup that had the little noodle stars in it? Xiafan is kind of like that. Or maybe like masher in Shanxi, but just a lot smaller. I hope they use a machine to get it this small, but you never know. If you see a dude on the street with a giant bowl over a burner in the morning in Zhang Ye, he's probably making xiafan. Nothing else was open this early in the morning, by the way. It was just us and some old Chinese dudes. Legit. So we rented a car for the day, headed about an hour outside of town into these mountains, and we crossed our fingers that the canyon wasn't also closed. And it wasn't. Hooray! This spot is literally 3 kilometers from Inner Mongolia. That's the province I'm gonna visit in the next episode. After you pay to enter, you take a bus, and then there are several different paths you can take. Our friend Nicole had been there before, so she was our acting tour guide. We went down into the canyon. It was seriously breathtaking. We took a ton of pictures, had a picnic down by this tree. I know the canyon isn't as big as the Grand Canyon in Arizona, but it's not a size contest. It's awesome to be down in this canyon, and there were not a ton of people there. Quiet, out in nature, it's just beautiful. We saw these camels. Apparently you can ride them through the canyon Last Crusade style. We saw a lamb. We held the lamb. Magic happened, MBD. When we hiked back up the canyon, we stopped at this yurt to take some pictures with this Mongolian couple. Genghis Khan up on the wall. Guys, this canyon is seriously worth the trip to Zhang Ye, okay? It's one of the most beautiful natural landscapes that I've seen in China. It's straight up worth it. You know, get a feel for what it's like riding in this joint. It's like being at sea. I can't see the mountains because I can't hold this jump. We're taking these turns like entirely too fast. Now, let's get down to the snacks. There's a spot in Zhang Ye called Ganzhou Shichang. Shichang just means market, and Ganzhou is like the ancient name of Zhang Ye. Back when Marco Polo was living there, it was probably called Ganzhou. It's a little bit touristy, but you go down there to get your snack on. First up, this is basically a Chinese egg McMuffin. Crispy with an egg and some meat on the inside. If I had one of these near me, I would eat it for breakfast every day. 10 yuan for 3 of them. We also had some intestines. How do you call that in Chinese?
I have no idea.
I think it's sheep intestines stuffed with sheep parts, like an old school sausage. I don't know the Chinese name of this. The predominant flavor is like liver, which I don't mind in small quantities. There's also a lot of vinegar, a lot of garlic. It's pretty tasty. Got the girls one of these Hong Kong fried potato skewers. Jeremy got some jianbing. It didn't blow his mind, but we watched them make it and it was pretty dope. They roll out the dough in this huge sheet. Get it nice and greasy, roll it up on a long rolling pin, then fill this thing with oil, and little by little they unroll the jianbing into the hot oil. After it sets on one side, they flip it, add some sauce, sprinkle some sesame seeds and some green onions. Awesome, right? But the thing I really wanted to try was CuoYuMian. Now, yu means fish, but there's no fish in this dish. I think it's because of the size of the noodles. They're like little minnows. You gotta grab with your chopsticks. Each one is rolled out by hand. They're small and slippery, like a fish. Nicole showed me how to eat them. You get a dish, and then you eat CuoYuMian along with the dish. My kids got down on them. This is like a Zhang Ye classic, and I have never eaten it anywhere else. Local noodles, that is what this show is about. I had a blast hanging out with our friends in Zhang Ye. I hope to go back again, and I will definitely eat this stuff again. By the way, congrats to the winner of my hat, patron of the show. Right here, I will be washing this and sending it to you. Thank you for your support. And thanks to all the rest of you for watching. I'll see you in the next episode, going to Inner Mongolia. Oh snap. Street food. Season 10.
Oh my god. It's a bone. It's a bone.
Archaeology is happening.
Yep, it's hot.
Good job, James.
Thank you.
It's your YouTube,
That's all I got.
Your YouTube glory.
I'm a YouTube star.
Yeah.